All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you here at the Angus Pub, the official pub and restaurant of the ML Sports Platter. You got to get down here, try their best darn Angus burgers in town. They've got the Power Play Burger, which has been voted Burger of the Year in New York State multiple times. I just had a delicious, medium well done provolone cheese bacon, side applesauce, and chicken noodle soup as the appetizer, so to speak, to the meal. So definitely get down here, try the burgers, try the sandwiches, try their entrees, try everything here at the Angus Pub. They've got great beers on tap and in the bottle as well, before and after all the big events here in Central New York. Make sure you pop on in to the Angus Pub. All right, let's get into this Anthony Davis news today. It was reported earlier in the day by Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, Go Bonas, that Anthony Davis wants out of New Orleans. No shock here. It just took him long enough, in my opinion, to say, okay, to hell with this, I'm out of here. This team has said in the past that they're going to build around Anthony Davis, that he is the cornerstone. He's the guy they want to, continue to have the face of the franchise, be on the front of the posters, be on the front of the programs, be the lead bobblehead, promotional giveaway, whatever the case may be. He is the guy. He is the face of the franchise. The problem is they're not building around him at all. They haven't done anything since they've gotten him, and I think that is weighing on him a little bit. And I think once a player gets to a certain time period, like mid-20s, and especially when you're playing in the era of Golden State, you start to realize, shit, I don't know if I'm going to win a title or not. And Anthony Davis at this point, I mean, who's going to beat Golden State this year? Nobody. Who's going to beat him next year if Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson come back? Nobody. So this Golden State thing could still be going for another 2 or 3 years, maybe longer. And I think Anthony Davis is probably looking at it like, I have to join a super team if I'm going to do anything at all. If I'm going to win a ring, I've got to do what LeBron did going to Miami. I've got to do what, multiple other players have done. I've got to do what Kevin Durant has done. I've got to do what, Robert Horry did when he joined the San Antonio Spurs after, winning several rings. And, of course, joining the Lakers as well. He's probably in a position right now where he's got to do that in order to get the jewelry, because at this point, he's getting into that time period of the mid-20s, mid to upper 20s where he doesn't have a ring yet. And then when you get into your 30s, it gets harder and harder to form a super team. And, of course, your body starts to go away a little bit as well as age creeps up on you. So this is a no-surprise situation in terms of him wanting out. I'm just surprised that it took this long. Now, let's look at some landing spots possibly for Anthony Davis. We know that the way his contract is, the way it's structured, it's got to be a perfect fit for a team. It's got to fit underneath the cap. And if it's going to be a trade, it's got to be the same thing going the other way. So if you're New Orleans and you trade Anthony Davis and you get a huge bucket load of players, those players could still total so much money that it does hurt against your cap. So, look, the first obvious choice is the LA Lakers. I mean, this is a team that, LeBron James is out right now. This is a team that was maybe vying for a third spot, a third seed in the playoffs. Now they're in danger of missing the postseason. But if LeBron James comes back and they can get an Anthony Davis, wowzer. They might be able to come back and get into the playoff hunt in a quick hurry. 2 of the top 5 players in the NBA, in my opinion, in Davis and LeBron. And who do you trade for him? Well, I'd trade Brandon Knight. I'd maybe Kuzma. But I would strongly, if I'm LA, look at Anthony Davis. So that, to me, is one landing spot. I think another landing spot for sure could be a Washington. Washington's been trying to get out from underneath the Bradley Beal contract, trying to get out from underneath the John Wall contract. I think they need a complete identity. I think they've got to wipe the slate clean in Washington, get some new blood in there, get maybe a couple of team leaders in there, get a different direction, because what they've had the last couple of years is just not working. Now, look, I know how talented Bradley Beal is. He's been unbelievable since his Florida days. Same thing with John Wall at Kentucky. But the reality of the situation is Washington needs an identity. They need a difference maker. They need a leader. They need somebody they can build the team around. Those two guys seem to be more just offensive players and me guys. And with Anthony Davis, he's going to bring it every single night. He's going to give you 30, 18, 8, every single night. He's going to give you power numbers, double digit, double figures in points and rebounds. He's going to give you a double-double every game. And then he's going to give you the blocks. He's going to give you the assists. He's going to run the floor up and down. He can shoot it. He's inside, outside. He's a terrific matchup. He's a matchup nightmare, I should say, for really anybody. But I think Washington could be a really, really good one there, a really intriguing one. And by the way, at the same time, you might be able to trade away 3-4 players for Davis and just completely do the whole house clean right there. Bring in Davis, go get a couple guys out of the draft, and maybe life starts fresh for you in Washington. That's a really good spot, I think, for him as well. Another spot that is, I think, a place that he should look and Brad Stevens should look is Boston. And the reason why I say Boston is because, again, A, you have a lot of trade chips there. B, they don't have a player like Anthony Davis. All the guys on their team are pretty similar in terms of their skill set, save Jason Tatum. When you look at the other guys like Rozier, you look at Kyrie Irving, they're all kind of the same type players. Great dribble drive, handles, they can shoot outside, but Anthony Davis is a 7-footer. Anthony Davis is a 7-footer who can play inside, outside. Anthony Davis is going to change the game defensively. They don't have a player like that at all. He can rebound the basketball. He can start the fast break. He can do all kinds of stuff. No player is like Anthony Davis on the Celtics. Frankly, there aren't really any players like him in the entire league. But what about that Boston team that's in a spot right now where they can make a couple of NBA finals, win a couple of championships? Their window is open right now. I don't know what Kyrie Irving's contract situation will be in the not too distant future. Will they re-up with him? Will they sign him long term? I think if you could pick up an Anthony Davis, again, trade a couple of pieces. If you can do it without trading Tatum, obviously that's the home run pick there. But Anthony Davis is so good that if you gave up Jason Tatum for him, you're getting an upgrade. I'm sorry. I mean, if you traded Tatum and Rozier and you got Anthony Davis, is that not a win if you're a Celtics fan? I know it'd be tough to see Tatum go. He's in year 2. He's one of the best young players in the NBA. But the reality is Anthony Davis is an all-timer. Tatum might be a Hall of Famer as well, but we're dealing with an Anthony Davis all-time elite Hall of Fame type player, generational type player. That's how good this guy is. He's got a good solid 8, 10, 12 years in the league left. If you can get him in your boss and you sign him to a multi-mega contract, you've got Anthony Davis, you got Kyrie Irving on the outside, you've got wing shooters to go, and if you trade Tatum, great. If not, then you put Tatum with Anthony Davis, and to me, that's just a lethal lineup. And you know what that also is? That's also a situation where Boston would almost become the new Cleveland Cavaliers. And what I mean by that is, nobody, LeBron being in the East was the game changer. They were the favorite, Cleveland, because LeBron was there. Miami was a favorite because LeBron was there. D-Wade and Bosh helped, but LeBron was the main reason. Well, now, fast forward to 2019, LeBron's out west. He's with the LA Lakers. What happens if one team in the East gets that big difference maker, big superstar guy, the toughest defensive matchup perhaps in the entire league in Anthony Davis? What happens if one of those teams gets Anthony Davis? They all of a sudden vault up in terms of being the favorite as long as they've got other guys on the roster. So keep an eye out on what goes on with Anthony Davis. New Orleans needs a trade partner, and it's got to be right on both sides for the cap. But this guy, whoever lands him eventually, will be extremely lucky, and a team that's going to just improve their chances at winning an NBA championship. I'm Mike Lindsley here from the Al and Angus Pub. Just had a delicious lunch. Make sure you come by here. This place is great. Matt, Randy, and the gang doing an awesome job. They've got great beers on tap and in the bottle. Best darn Angus burger in town. Great entrees. Ton of specials every day. Their soups and salads are delicious as well. Make sure you find them online and, of course, like their Facebook page. This is the official pub and restaurant of the ML Sports Platter before and after all the big events in Central New York. Again, I'm Mike Lindsley. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.